people round. With your bro.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted, and you are soon to be opinionated. It's okay to be different, and it's so okay to just be you. The world awaits to receive you.
Blessings, blessings. I'm back. Stop. I'm Aggie. Blessings. Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a little special on Harvey. We want to keep the audience updated on what's going on in Harvey with Tiffany Henyard's twin. You know, I've been calling this for a while. This man to me seems pretty sinister. And now we have some allegations to share with you. But before we get to the allegations, or more the allegations, because it is a situation shit. It actually happened. Okay. But I call it allegations until proven through a lawsuit, because I think this person is going to pursue a lawsuit. Before we get to that, what we're going to be doing is doing a quick flashback of what has been happening in Harvey, and it's going to bring us up and kind of into real time to a situation that we're going to kind of just present to you at the end. We have a few more broadcasts coming up in the next couple of days or so just please turn your notifications on if you want to get into excuse me, I had to clear my throat, the nitty gritty of what's going on in Harvey. So let's do this real quick. We're going to put this on the screen. I want to say thank you for being here with me. You will be seeing my head on the screen the whole night. We're going to be watching this together, okay? So hit the like button, sit back, relax. Let's see what's going on in Harvey, and it's going to get us up into real time of what's going on with the resident by the name of Miss Melissa Crawley, okay? Let's go.
This is Superman Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching, and y'all went and got my site shut down. Hello, Harvey. My name is Phyllis. I am a newly elected Harvey Public Library trustee in 2023. Thank you for all those who voted for me. I'm not part of the divine nine, but the jab that's been taken today, Austin, Smith, none of this today, because they have nothing to do. Being in a sorority has nothing to do with what's going on in Harvard. You talk about these taxes, that's not the real business, that's the accountant's business. We have no businesses. And about your last administration prior, you four decided for us not to have a grocery store. You all decided for us not to have streets on. You all decided for us not to have lights. All of that. Y'all get that. You four, that's y'all get. Y'all four get that. Y'all had 18. You say he said that y'all was protesting. Where? Because y'all wasn't outside. Y'all wasn't up in here. Even if y'all was outside, y'all wasn't in here though. So you wasn't holding up your fiduciary duties to the people. The man came and was going to give us a grocery store. He was going to pay for that taxes and everything. Y'all said no. We were going to get the ring profits. Y'all said no. Everything. Y'all said no to. Now look, like I said before, the hole or the ditch that you dug, you should have dug for yourself, because y'all laying right in and out. We ain't got jack. Nothing. Y'all build a 51 unit building for what? Can't feed the people. You can't even give the people medication. They don't have no pharmacy, no nothing here. So what did y'all accomplish last administration? Nothing. And then you talk about the 1 million or 169 and what they got doing now? 6 years now. 6 years. No traffic report. But y'all steady paying out all these lawsuits. You getting all this other stuff. You got these big screens and all that. Everybody driving a car and all this and that work. But you're talking about the debt from last administration. Make it make sense. Show that money. That's all we want to see.
Thank you. Next is Kathy King Waters, followed by Sir Burden.
Good afternoon, good evening actually. I'm with the Tiffany Henyard, which is a LGBTQ education support and advocacy group. On April 28th, a Harvey resident was accused of being a pedophile and is a gay man. If those accusations were true in his job, the school where he was a mandated reporter would have had to report him. He would have been charged and prosecuted if those charges were true. And is irresponsible to perpetuate that kind of stereotype that has existed for eons about gay men. In February of 2025, Gallup poll released some stats. 9.3% of the U.S. population identifies as LGBTQ. 9.3% of Harvey, a big chunk of Harvey. 23% of Generation Z, our up-and-comers, identified as LGBTQ. When they see their leadership generating LGBTQ people, they're not going to want to stay here. They're not going to want to stay here after graduation. They're not going to want to buy houses. They're not going to want to open businesses. Without our young people, remember we can use this as children are our future. Our cities in the Southland are going to fail. They're going to fail. We need to make all people feel welcome in all of the South suburbs because we know in the South suburbs there's not a lot of support for LGBTQ people. And I see a very diverse group in this room, and a very diverse group leading Harvey. Y'all know what stereotypes do. Y'all know the effects that stereotypes have, and nobody should be perpetuating them in the state. We need to come together, and we need to be the examples for our young people. So I hope that this august group will not fall for stereotypes, will not perpetuate stereotypes, will not perpetuate. And I thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you. Next is Sir Irvin, followed by Sylvia Wilson.
Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Irvin, former trustee of the Harvey Public Library. And wow, the waste. I am sick and tired of you all arresting Kobe Chapman over your violation of Robert's Rule of Order. I've never seen so many violations in all the days of my life. You just changed it to your clerk's rules of order. This is crazy. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what you're doing. All the lawsuits, all these people we're paying out. Eddie Winters, police chief, he's got community policing. Came here, trying to rally around the community. You got rid of it now, we paying him out. Who is advising you all to do these things? It's not about winning. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And once you put that into your vocabulary about what's right and what's wrong, then we're going to really change things in the city of Harvey. I'm not up here to win. I'm up here to get what's right for my city. And I think that's what everybody else is here for too. We ain't at no dog race, okay? We ain't at no horse race. So you need to change the way that you look at things. All this personal stuff that's going on, you need to get rid of that. Because if she asks a question, there's a good reason why she's asking it. And I don't want to hear nothing about, you got this many days to take care of this before that. Apparently, you all ain't answered her. If she's emailing you or calling you, you on the law firm, and where are they at tonight? Where are they at tonight? You on your own, you by yourself this time. I want to see this shot. Grandstand, Miss Smith, you're the worst one of all. You are the worst of them all. What is going on in here? Shirley, you said somebody was contacting you or questioning you and stuff. Just as bad, okay? You voted to have her removed. This woman had surgery. And these police are letting her tossing around here like she a rag doll. You don't know what pain she's feeling in her body. She ain't assaulted nobody. Y'all assaulted her. You more and him. It's got to get better than what he is. It's got to. The treasurer's report, we can't get a report. What's going on? At least tell us how much money that we have. It don't have to be down to the nickel penny. You can do better than what you're doing. This is not the way that you run a city. Okay, I expect blame because you're the oldest and been here the longest. You know better than everybody else. But to please him, to get that little $25,000 for the year to pay for your expenses, to shake your head, you know I know what I'm talking about. I'm not you in town. And one time me and you were linked up together, but not no more. Not no more. The truth will set you free, okay? And that's all that I want. Always remember that, okay? Get them all Kobe check and have a moment or two, all right?
Next we have Cynthia Wilson, followed by M. King Jr.
Hey, I'm Cynthia Wilson. My issue is not with this reply today. My issue is not with the chief's office today. We're supposed to be speaking on the 18th. My issue is with my auto loan. That's what my issue is. I called you on the phone and told you what was going on before I even talked to the chief, before I even talked to the mayor's office. I told you what was going on. You asked me, so what you want me to do? You don't come to my meeting, so what you want me to do? So I have to do something for you to do something for me. Then I asked you about the shooting that happened behind my house. You said, I'm the police. What you want me to do? And then you said, you want to talk about Miss Kobe. Miss Kobe. Don't tell me that. I said, I don't know what this lady got going on. I never met this lady for 2 times in my life. And the second time I met this lady, she was picking up trash. Tell me how many times you done picked up trash around your city. Pick up that now, for real. It's not different. It's not. You think you're bigger than the program, baby, when you just a puppet on the string.
Next we have M. King Jr., followed by Vernon, it's like Turner. The words come out from meditation on Harvey self, and I say, for my spirit and my redeemer. Lord, bring peace, love, and take away the hate and all the spiritual things that have been here. Lord, guide us to a better way, Lord, take all this get back, our rest, and all this stuff out of the city of heart. Lord, you said we cannot pray that we're evil. Our prayers are not answered when we do things after we pray. In the name of Jesus. Roles and responsibility of a municipal treasurer. The treasurer in Illinois holds a significant position within the local government, managing the financial affairs of municipalities. The responsibility of the client by the Illinois Municipal Code, which includes overseeing the collection, safeguarding, and disbursement of municipal funds. Treasurers ensure compliance with state laws such as the Local Government Debt Reform Act and maintain accurate financial reports, records of transparency and accountability. Treasurers also are responsible for investment management under the Public Fund Investment Act, prioritizing safety, liquidity, and yield. They navigate property tax, working with the county officials to ensure timely and accurate tax billing. Their role requires a deep understanding of the property tax code and an implication for local revenue. In budget preparation, financial forecasting, treasurers collaborate with municipal officers to develop fiscal sound budgets. I said, I'll read this again. In budget preparation and fiscal forecasting, treasurers collaborate with municipal officials to develop fiscal sound budgets. It involves analyzing revenue streams and identifying financial challenges. while staying informed about the changes in state and federal funding and legislative development. I tell you, this city is backward. What's the problem is here? The treasurer can't make a progress or do anything because the treasurer was able to do something. They would know what the reports are. They know the money coming in and money going out. But now we have, as the brother of Missouri said, $25,000 allocated for each ward. And what does that mean? $25 for each ward? The question I want to ask you, as I said the last time, tell me what each older person is getting for this. Is each older person fairly getting the money? And I say this again, the treasurer, my suggestion, should be holding an American Express. Well, that older person gets the money, is seen as a report made, and is a document sent to the city hall and everybody else. But the bottom line is, we have a treasurer that's being mistreated. And we're being mistreated because our financial understanding of what's happening in Harvey and the money's being spent, and for whatever it is, we don't know what it is. And we still don't know what it is. Here's a police chief, and I love him. I love Mr. Wentz. He said all kinds of programs are for us. Citizen policing and all that. We had block captains and all that guy. The bottom line that I see, show me the money, and I won't say anything bad about you. But I'm not shading anybody like some other persons instead of giving a report, they're giving a shade. Let's be right.
Next is Vernon Turner, followed by, I'm not sure, but Amir is the last name.
Good evening. My name is Vernon with accountability to the executives. As Amir.
But Amir.
Hold on, y'all. Sorry.
You don't know what page.
Give me 1 second. Gotta fast forward a little bit. Let's go.
Persons instead of giving a report, they're giving a shade.
Clear. I'm the president of Full First International, and we would like to make a statement. And I'm going to start by asking a question. What does Christopher Clark have to fear with accountability to the community? That is the question of the hour. Mr. Clark, is it sweetheart deals that provide for your lifestyle? Good question. Have you dabbled in the financials of the city's county? What do you have to fear, Mr. Clark? When leadership stands outside of public interest, it is not leadership. We call it being a tyrant. So radical movements have things to hide. So I ask you the question again, what do you have to fear, Mr. Clark? The last time I came here, I addressed you, and I asked you very specific questions, and you still haven't changed your course of action. You should be ashamed of yourself as a black man who politically indicts a black female. That is not leadership. That is not being a man. So I will no longer address you. What I will do is talk to the police officers in this room and say that the day that you become a political arm of the mayor's office is the day that you've gone wrong. You have fallen off your low oath of office. We ask that you change your course because you can also stand at home and be held accountable for your actions. We want the public to send a very loud and clear message at this point that the Harvey police are a political arm of the mayor's office. Let the public know, and that if once you stand in front of a police officer in Harvey, expect the worst every time. What I'm interested in at this point is any officer who's acted outside of public interest, please send us an email. Freedom Press International, gmail.com. I'm going to say that again, Freedom Press International combo at gmail.com, or you can look us up. We're interested in indicting these officers. We're interested in working with the accountability boards in the state of Illinois to have these folks indicted. If you don't believe me, then check my record, because I stood up against governors. I stood up against fallen police officers. Take it to heart. The last thing that I want to say, Mr. Clark, is I hope you never forget the day when you bastardized your office.
Thank you. Mike, we have Branson also.
Okay, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'm wondering why the mayor was such a coward as to schedule a media interview at the same time as a press conference that we scheduled at 6 p.m. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that I was discussing about his disgusting, perverted, incorrect, illegal allegations that were made on April 28th. Actually, that was the same night my other one was arrested. He said that I had inappropriate sexual something or other with my students when I taught for him, which is, like I said, disgusting. It's not right. He said that because he wanted to teach us a lesson, quote unquote, about allegations because we have no proof of things that he's done. Well, actually, we do. We still have the receipts. You can see all the people you arrested for no reason. We can clearly see your extorting businesses and churches. You give people fines all the time for retaliation. How can you be a city leader and make horrible allegations, What's really sad is what actually happened at Thornton is that I was being bullied mercilessly for being a gay teacher. And administration didn't respond. So another thing I said is, that's confidential. Now I shared some of that information, but there's plenty I didn't share with Mr. Clark. How did Mr. Clark gain access to that confidential information about a District 205 employee and about minors in District 205? Does it maybe have something to do with someone that he knows very well in District 205 that I will not name? You can do your research. And Tyrone Delaney, first of all, why are you laughing? You have been accused of sexually, violently going after women so many times, and it is not rumor, sir. Don't you dare laugh at me again. You can't even look at me because you know it's true. And Delaney Smith, you work for the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services, and you throw out allegations, false allegations that I'm sexually going after a child. Delaney Smith, look at me in the face. You don't even have the guts, do you? Well, somebody got to report her because, don't you think her boss should know that? I think that's pretty serious, especially since she's a mandated reporter. Finally, shame on all of you, it's Pride Month. I'll stand up for the LGBT Black youth. I just went to a fashion show at Thornton High School, and they were there and they did a great job. Did you know rates of suicide and homelessness are sky high among the Black community and the LGBT community? We are here. We've been with you. We're your neighbors. We're your family. You cannot ignore us. These youth look to you, and you have failed. Shame on you.
Next we have departmental reports.
So now we're going into June 9th.
Now,
And just bear with me. I was going to listen to a little bit of the mayor, but he's hard to listen to. So we're going to do a special kind of listen to him run a Henyard on us, but we're not going to do that tonight. What we're going to do is get to the part where the residents say some key things in their comments, okay? And this is what's going to lead us to the allegations or the situation shit that happened to a resident by the name of Miss Melissa Crawley. Okay, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for getting a comprehensive understanding of what's going on in Harvey as we report to you unbiasedly. Let's get it.
In reconcile. My concern and suggestion is that the next finance committee meeting, which I hope will translate into the next city council meeting, that not only will it be a monthly summary of the bank accounts report, but there will also be an update about the missing audits. The last finance committee meeting that I attended in first quarter of 2025, March 24th, Comptroller the school committee mentioned that in first quarter of this year, we were just now paying the accounting firm of Sperry for the 2022 audit. So I think it's important to have an update about that because again, we're still not in compliance with the state of Illinois because we're still 3 years behind on audits. So it is my hope that the next finance committee, which leads on to the next city council meeting, that there will be an update about that audit, or hopefully a completed audit, but at least the year 2022, because we also still need the audits for 23 and 24 as well. My second concern was today before I came to the meeting starts at 7 p.m. And at the last meeting I attended, the doors were open and the public were able to come in at 6:30 or between 6:30 and 6:40. I arrived here at 6:08 because I thought the finance meeting was today. Unfortunately, it was not, so I left and came back. I entered the building at 6:38 because the front door was open because this is a public building. And unfortunately, I was met with a little bit of resistance. Now, what concerns me is that it's 90 degrees outside today, it's an excessive heat morning, and the doors were locked and people was outside. I spoke with 4 officers, including the chief of police, to plead for the residents to be allowed in because it is excessive heat. And I'm thinking that it's a lot of officers that are here, that crowd control can be maintained. And I just implore you all to think about that the next time there's a city council meeting, to allow the residents to come in and not stand in the heat. Because there's a good majority of our residents that are seniors that may have walking or cane or may not be able to handle the heat. So again, it's inhumane to allow the public to stand outside, although the meeting did not start at 7. It is still, you still should be able to enter the building and you can at least start a line. They may not be able to enter the chamber, they still should be able to enter the building and form a line before the meeting gets started. I'm sorry, it's 90 degrees outside, that is inhumane. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Dennis James Watson, followed by Chanel Post.
Hold on, y'all. We're going forward a little bit because she was speaking Spanish. Okay, so Ms. Chappelle Hooks is very important. Now we're going to listen to what Ms. Chappelle Hooks has to say. Please listen to what she has to say. It's very important because she mentioned a character on Facebook that is allegedly supposed to be Mr. Clark, allegedly. But I'm going to let her tell it, and then it's going to bridge into what happened with Miss Melissa. She's speaking Spanish.
Lines are heard.
Good evening, Harvey. A lot been going on. I have an issue with the.
As we're listening, I want you to remember this young lady named Miss Curly. I'm going to be keeping my eye on her because she's been having some encounters going on related to possibly retaliation. So we're going to go into that later on, but I want y'all to keep your eyes on her as well. Just mark her face, and I do believe she's on another board. I'm going to verify what board it is so I can be precise with the information, but she is allegedly getting some pushback from our Henyard 2.0.
Elected officials having their little Facebook or social media aliases, and they get on and they threaten and harass residents. You know, like every time there's an election or campaign come around, Cookie Ross says.
Listen to that name, Cookie Ross. We're going to play that back real quick because it's ringing a bell.
You know, like every time there's an election or campaign come around, Cookie Ross tends to pop up on social media, on Facebook, wants to threaten people and talk crazy and all of that. But I know there's nothing ever happens to Cookie Ross. Because maybe Cookie Ross is one of our elected officials. But I see, you know, your goals, homeboy like homeboy over there, came and took a constituent into custody for an investigation. For what? Stuff that was said on social media, Facebook, because you got other people threatening him, like Cookie Ross ain't being held for questions. Oh, maybe because you sit here at the council. Also, when are we going to have a fifth ward meeting? Right away, we haven't had one in what, about 3 years? Okay, because I mean, we're blind to a lot of the things that's going on in the community and in our city. We don't have any updates, no treasurer's report. I mean, obviously, I like the way you know, the birthday, you know what I'm saying? You got what was that? You know, that sit up there, we pay him, I don't know, what, 300 an hour to sit there? He don't say nothing. He don't say nothing, he don't correct nothing, he don't, anything that's questionable in the council, he don't say nothing. Y'all paying questions because the mayor said so. What are we paying him for? I mean, I can sit there and do that. That's great. And, you know, I mean, y'all costing us money. Y'all saying that we all this millions in debt, but look what's happening. That's what money going right now. Y'all talking about properties and stuff, it's right there. That's where that money going, the millions, right there.
Thank you.
All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna stop right there, okay? And the reason why we're gonna stop right there is because we're gonna continue to hear from the residents. But what we're gonna do now is put up a video that was published on Facebook by Miss Melissa Crawley, related to what happened to her. Now we give everyone respect. We give them a chance to speak, and we listen here because when you hear things that sound similar, our ears start ringing. So we're going to try to figure out what was the stem of her situation, and I think this is the best video to kind of start with. So I'm going to let her speak from this video that she played on her Facebook page, and then what we're going to do is have a to be continued, because you know what I do. We're going to put all the facts together. We're going to show what went on based on what's out there, so the residents and everyone can at least have a comprehensive understanding of what's going on from all sides, even though we're not going to be able to hear from Clark. But I was made aware of that there's other things going on the internet, and I at least want to make sure that this young lady has a solid ground to be able to speak her piece. Okay, so let's go. Shout out to the Levi family. Shout out to Judah. You already know what it is. We exposing the crooks.
Good morning. Good morning. I just wanted to come on here real quick and talk to y'all. And I wanted to let y'all know that I'm working on introducing legislation as I learn more about the political process here in Harvey, about how to get things done. I don't profess to be an expert, and I basically got thrust into this situation by.
And just know I'm speeding it up a little bit. So if it sounds a little fast, it's because I speed it up. I'll slow it down if you can't understand what she's saying.
The injustice of what happened to me at the hands of Mayor Clark. Again, I was kidnapped from my home under the guise of the law. Um, I was drugged against my will at Ingalls Memorial Hospital. They injected me. They first um, had me there on a forced psychological evaluation based on word of mouth from the mayor, who was upset that I was protesting, not just for the situation concerning the water, because I've been to his house previously regarding that, wasn't arrested. I believe that it's what happened to me is a direct result of me um, voicing my support for Colby Chapman, um, and directly because I dissented against things that are happening, like what happened with my cousins grandmother's house, who I just only recently, good morning to you, Carlita, who I just only really recently realized her home was taken. And this is, a blood relative. Um, and Miss Carlita, who's on the live, was the issue that's going on with her family's property. And so that said, um, that was really my whole goal of protesting. Okay, awesome. Send me a prayer up at church, Miss Carlita. And so I just wanted to hop on here really quick because I've been watching some of the video that people are doing on my story, and I just wanted to highlight the point that I was not just there about the water situation. That previously, the day before, I was threatened online by so-called activist, political provocateur, um, Jedidiah Brown, who Clark has taken under his wing, and he purports to be speaking for the citizens. But I'm letting you know that I am a citizen of Harvey. I was born and raised here, and we have always been trying to push these issues to the forefront so that we could shine some light on the corruption in Harvey. And now the police are being weaponized against us. They're actually using the police to intimidate and harass the citizens and even harass our elected officials who speak on behalf of the citizens. Now, I don't know who gave Jedidiah a license to come into every community and think that he can speak for the people. He's not the voice of the people, especially when you're disrespectful to our elders, disrespectful to the people who we deem as pillars in our community. And we're not the bad guys. We're the citizens suffering from the decisions and lack of decisions from our elected officials. And even if some of us did vote for Clark, we have a right to express our dissent um, when he isn't uh, doing what we feel is the will of the people. That's not a crime. That's what our basic constitutional rights tell us, that we have the right, the authority, and the obligation to dissent against tyrants. And that's exactly what Mayor Chris Clark is. He's a tyrant. And again, there's no question. There's nothing that needs to be checked out about my story. He literally kidnapped me from my home using police authority. Now, to that end, I'm now hearing that Jedidiah Brown, the name that they've given me is Crawley, Melissa Mental Crawley. That's what they're calling me. Jedidiah, somebody who broke down in a suicide attempt online for the whole world to see, is calling me, Melissa Mental Crawley. You got a little bit of what you've named me right, because I do come from the mental, meaning I have the ability to think, reason, and understand the law, something that you clearly don't. Because for some reason you think that it was okay for you to protest, or it's okay for you to come in and shut down cities and traffic, but people that actually live in the city that you claim that you represent, we should be locked and jailed and labeled as mental patients as a result of it. Or for those of us who do have mental disabilities, that you would weaponize that against us. That's dangerous, and it's wrong, and it's illegal. And I think that you and Clark both should be in handcuffs. You for instigating the situation, and him for allowing you to, and using the government in a weapon, as a weapon against the people who dissent against you. So I'll say it to you again. Chris Corrupt trying to interrupt my feed, stop me from talking. I've never in my life had a interruption on a live. I know that the powers that be are upset about this video, upset about me talking about what happened to me. And that $1 billion U of I Chicago down there at Ingalls, you allowed this to happen to me. Your staff did this to me in conjunction with the mayor, Harvey Police Department. They all did this to me. There's no question about it. It was on video. My protest was on video. I left the protest. I was not arrested at the protest because there was no law broken at the protest. Okay? They came the next day in a sneak attack. But see, what they don't understand is that when God calls you, confrontation is expected. I was waiting on that day. If you look at my live video from where the police arrested me, I didn't even have my scarf on. Y'all seen my bald head and everything. I just was putting my clothes on, bending down, putting my clothes on, because they thought this was a sneak attack. But I already had my Facebook family and friends placed on notice. I was live when they arrested me. Y'all can hear everything that they said to me. And they confiscated my phone for 2 days because they didn't want me to get back on here at all and say anything. It was their hopes that I would be somewhere right now in a mental institution. And everybody believing that I was crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm a mental health advocate. Okay? I've survived not just police terrorism in Harvey, I've survived police terrorism in other places as well. And it is a direct result of the conditions that we live in within our community that we have these trauma responses, yelling, seeming erratic, speaking passionately, and those things can be weaponized against us. Come on. We got to be some thinking people. We got to be quicker on our feet than that to just accept the narrative that the government would give us when it comes to people who dissent. If anybody who knows me, they know that I don't deal in the slander. I've never participated in dragging someone down based on how I personally feel about them. I've never done that. That's never been me to defame anybody because I feel like truth stands on its own. I don't have to embellish it, strengthen it in any kind of way because it stands independent of how I feel. So that said, by me operating that way, I was in the past often accused of being a Clark supporter simply because I would not degrade him. And now he is degrading me. Now here he is trying to pretend like I'm crazy. So that said, y'all pay attention. I need y'all to rally behind this. As you can see, there are cars riding past my house. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm gonna try to get y'all to see it. I'm gonna go to the corner. I don't know if y'all can see down there, but you know, having SUVs with dark tinted windows, police riding up and down the street in an effort to intimidate me and to stop me from talking. And I'm not scared because I've always made it clear that I believe in my First and Second Amendment, all right? My video keeps losing signal, but I believe in redressing my government. I believe in not being a punk or a coward when you do it. And if you gonna kill me, if you gonna do something to me, you're gonna have to do it, and the world gonna have to witness you doing it, because I'm not ever gonna stop. I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of the person who can steal, who can destroy my soul when I leave here. And I've made this statement 1,000 times. I'd rather die on my feet than on my knees. I'm not gonna beg nobody for freedom. I was born with it. I'm not gonna beg nobody to come and support me. I stand on my own. I protested on my own. You can ask anybody about me. I've always made my own signs, and I don't care who show up. No, because I understand my mandate and my calling that I have on my life. So I just wanted to put that out there. That yeah, that's the new name for me. That's coming from the camp of Jedidiah Brown and Mayor Chris Clark and the Harvey Police Department, is that I should be called Melissa Mental Crowley. And that just speaks to how egregious and how ignorant these people are. But I dare any one of them to debate me. I dare any one of them to debate me. None of them want to see me when it comes down to this paperwork, the Constitution, what is and isn't legal. They don't want to debate me on that. It's easier for them to sit back and control the bottom feeders' opinion of me. Because if you got any God-given sense, you'll see ain't nothing wrong with me. You'll see that I'm not crazy at all. Everything that I've shared with y'all really happened to me. I don't have to lie. I'm not a liar. That said, may the most powerful God win. And I know who the most powerful. I serve the Most High. May the best God win. So, and I want to let you guys know that Jezebel isn't a woman all the time. Jezebel is a spirit that can rest on a man too. So
let me pause that right there, because I'll let my sister talk. But y'all already know what we've been talking about, that spiritual warfare. And I told you about the Leviathan spirit, the Jezebel spirit, the mimicking spirit. I ain't the only one that know about this. Y'all better go realize that we're not fighting against flesh, but principalities. I'm gonna let her finish off and talk and just kind of give us a brief synopsis of what happened, and then we're gonna follow up with a deep dive. We're also tomorrow morning, I believe that she will be interviewing on the Mac Morning Show. So check out the Mac Morning Show. She's going to be answering questions from Mac the man about this situation and some of the things she's been going through, because some of the narrative on YouTube have seemed to be pushing the true story under the radar, and that is that we have a tyrant, that there's something crazy going on in Harvey. Again, he said at least he wasn't like the past administration running down on people, running up in their houses. But when we listen to this a little bit more, she even mentioned that the threat that came from Miss Coco, that person that seems to pop up when they want to relieve some stress, says something a little wild, like, I hope you sleep tight. And then from what I heard, and I'm going to put that together for you, that Miss Melissa heard some pop, 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 pop around her house. Okay? So we can't disregard this. We have to take it seriously regardless. It should be some type of investigation going on as far as internal affairs, because from what I'm hearing is that despite her getting arrested, and there's more stuff that goes with this, and I'm just kind of opening the can of worms on my platform, and I know this has been talked about, but she had no charges. That's a lawsuit. That is a problem. Okay, let Miss Melissa finish, and then we're going to head off for the night. I want to say thank you for being here with GraceLevi, because you know what we're going to do. We're going to unpack it unbiasedly. We're going to get the facts. We're going to put it in front of everybody and let you decide without a narrative. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Y'all better be careful of these Jezebelian spirits out here that have you blindly following them, holding up the banner that what they're doing is righteous when it isn't. And again, I'm going to put out a call to Jedidiah's mother.
Ooh.
That her and I have a biblical conversation, because she seems to think somebody is simply jealous of her son rather than calling him out on the mess that he's keeping up. God is not the author of confusion.
Mm-hmm. God is not.
I want to know, from woman of God to woman of God, why you feel it's okay for your son to terrorize Harvey, to terrorize our elders, to terrorize me. I have screenshots of him threatening to come to my house. Mm-hmm. What say you about your son? What say you about your son, Jedidiah's mama? Because I'm accountable for mine within the community. I go see about mine. When people tell me that my children are causing problems, I come and see about them. I go and see what's going on. Have you come to Harvey? Miss Cook, I think that's her last name. She says that she's a prophet of God. I know for sure I'm a prophet. I got my calling right here on this lawn through Ezekiel 2. Backed up by scripture. It's with all confidence that I say I'm speaking for God. And when I'm not, I close my mouth. When I feel like my words are tainted with hate, I close my mouth and I allow God to heal me until I'm able to speak. What say you about your son? What say you about your son?
What say you?
Because again, when mine are causing problems in the community, I go see about mine. That's what queens do. So don't you hold another conference in the name of Jesus Christ, invoking the name of Jesus Christ, until you can answer for what your son is doing out here. And the same goes for any minister that's standing behind Chris Clark. So I'm going to let this go for now. Y'all stay blessed up, prayed up, and stay aware of what's going on around you, because it's more than meets the eye. They want to call me Melissa Mental Crawley. Call me what you want. But you better not put your hands on me again. That much I do know.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Hey, everybody clap your hands. They not like us. I took a pocket to pull. Hey, they not like us. I took a pocket to pay. Take it for hey. You a rapper, young grouper snapper. You ain't been through nothing. Have you ever had to leave the studio cause you sugar got low? I got doubt in my pinky toe.
Guys, this is Superman.
mayor, Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching.